I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna be talking about religion and God in this video, and that's not your type of thing, that's completely fine. But if you are interested, just give me a couple minutes of your time and I'm going to explain my story. I grew up and was raised in a religious Muslim household. All my life I've been practicing my religion ever since I can remember. I remember I would be fasting when I was 5 years old from sunrise to sunset. Crazy stuff. I finished my very first Quran when I was around 7. So I grew up in this type of environment. When I tell strangers about this type of stuff, they reckon, oh, I'm this real high, pious, almighty person. When the reality is that I'm not a very good Muslim. I remember growing up, especially during very stressful times, I would skip out on a lot of my prayers, either by accident or even intentionally just not praying them at all. I wouldn't be reading Quran as much. I would often fall off these habits, not by my own admission. I would try to do them, but usually there would be something around me that is different, that is making me not want to do them. Whether that be I have a big exam coming up or I have this big assignment that I have to do. It's something that drives a lot of anxiety in my mind that makes me stop doing these habits because I have to do this task. I don't have time to do my religion. I have to do these other stuff. It would almost feel like, this is terrible by the way, but it almost would feel like I would have a burden on me, where I have to do these 5 daily prayers. I have to do all this effort into my religion. It felt like a burden to me. It felt like that it was something that I had to do instead of something that I wanted to do. But it would all change. I had to make a big decision in my life. I had to commit to myself to either one thing or another, and it was a very stressful thing that I had to go through, and I didn't know what to do or if I was gonna make it. I had a lot of limiting beliefs going through my mind, a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and after being very inconsistent with my prayer for who knows how long, I finally sat down, was super present in the moment and prayed. And then after I did my prayer, I sat down and I made dua. I didn't even know what I wanted from him. I think I was crying as well. There was tears going down my face. I didn't even know what I wanted. I just was so stressed out of my mind. I had so much pressure. I felt like the whole world was on top of me that I had no other place to go other than him. And I just sat there and cried and made dua for him to help me out in any way. I didn't even know what help I need. I just need something. I put my head down on the prayer mat, super sad, anxious. I raised my head from the mat. And as I was raising my head from the mat, it felt like every centimeter that I moved my head up and I stood up, a little bit of my anxiety, a little bit of the pressure was being alleviated off my shoulders. By the time I fully stood upright, it felt like everything had been washed away. I was a brand new person. No longer did I have any qualms or any doubts about my own ability, if I was going to make it. I had so much clarity in my own thoughts that I was able to make a proper decision that I believed in. And all for just 5 minutes and a couple tears going down my face. It was such a reality check for me because for all my life I had been feeling like my religion was an obligation, a responsibility, a duty that I had to do. And that is correct, but I never really gained any sort of connection to my Rabb, to my Allah. Up until that point, see, a lot of the doubts and a lot of the things that was causing me anxiety was things out of my control. And when I put my head on the prayer mat and when I stood up, I realized that everything that I can't control is in Allah's hands. I can't control it. All I can control is myself and my thing, what I can do about the situation. So there's no need to worry about the things I can't control. That's in my Allah's hands. All I can control is me, what I can do, and try to be the best version of myself. And it's such a big cheat code to do this. Every time I have any sort of anxiety, I'm saying the word anxiety a lot in this video. Every time I have any sort of anxiety in any facet of my life, it doesn't matter how little or how big, I just put it all on my Rabb, because usually the things that I am anxious about, it's external. I imagine a lot of those people are like me when I didn't really pray, I didn't really read Quran, I didn't really practice my religion at all. You just put the whole world on top of your own shoulders instead on someone else. There's no wonder that I was super depressed, that I was suicidal, that I didn't want to live, that I hated everyone around me. It was the only thing that was going to happen from that. It was only when I connected with my Allah, it was only when I started praying consistently, when I started making dua sincerely for his help, when my life changed. Give it a try. Even if you don't believe in religion, what's 5 minutes going to do? You're just going to sit there, and if nothing happens, then nothing happens. You're not going to lose anything from it, and you have all to gain from it. So just give it 5 minutes and pray. Even if you don't know what to pray about, just do something. It don't even need to be in Arabic. You can just say whatever you want in English. Me saying something for 5 minutes has just completely changed my life. That's the only reason I'm trying to really enforce this on you, because it's changed my life. So hopefully it can change yours if you're in the same situation. And remember, like and subscribe.